Ladies and gentlemen, aging is not just a process of the body, it's a profound transformation of the spirit. By the time you reach 70, you've gained a lifetime of experience, wisdom, and perspective. Yet, the pursuit of peace and happiness doesn't stop with age, it deepens. And to achieve that, there are 5 things we must shed. They are not mere objects or habits, but deeper attachments that anchor us in unnecessary chaos. Resentment is a burden that festers in the soul, a corrosive emotion that eats away at your peace of mind. It thrives on wounds, both real and perceived. And it grows stronger the more we ruminate on past grievances. At its core, resentment is a refusal to let go of the injustice you feel you've suffered. It keeps the past alive, often distorting it until it becomes the lens through which you view the world. And by the time you reach 70, resentment may have had decades to take root. But holding on to resentment is like clutching a burning coal, hoping it will hurt someone else. The reality is, it only burns you. It fuels bitterness and anger, leading to isolation and loneliness. Worse, it blinds you to the beauty and possibility that still exist in life. Every moment spent nursing resentment is a moment stolen from your joy, your relationships, and your capacity for love. To let go of resentment, we first have to confront it honestly. Acknowledge the wounds you carry, but don't stop there. Ask yourself, what am I gaining by holding on to this? Often, the answer is control. An illusion that holding resentment somehow gives you power over the situation or the person who hurt you. But that power is hollow. You cannot change the past, nor can you make others atone for their actions just by being angry. The only power you truly have is over your own response. Forgiveness is often seen as the antidote to resentment, but forgiveness is misunderstood. It's not about excusing bad behavior or pretending nothing happened. Forgiveness is about releasing the grip that the past has on you. It's about saying, I will no longer allow this event or this person to dictate my peace of mind. When you forgive, you reclaim control, not over others, but over your own spirit. Letting go of resentment also requires practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a discipline. It's a conscious decision to look for what is still good, still beautiful, and still worth cherishing. And by the time you reach 70, there is so much to be grateful for. Look at the relationships you've built, the lessons you've learned, the moments of joy and connection that have shaped your life. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it shifts the focus. And where your attention goes, your peace follows. Lastly, letting go of resentment often involves redefining your narrative. Too often we let our grievances define who we are, victims of betrayal, rejection, or loss. But that's only one part of the story. You are not just your wounds, you are also your resilience, your kindness, and your ability to persevere. When you release resentment, you reclaim your story on your terms. You stop being a prisoner of the past and step into the freedom of the present. Letting go is not easy. It takes work and intentionality, but the reward is immense: a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and a soul at peace. Control is a seductive illusion. For much of life, we are taught that control is the key to success and happiness. We strive to control our circumstances, our relationships, our careers, and even our own aging bodies. Society encourages this mindset, pushing us to believe that if we work hard enough, plan carefully enough, and think strategically enough, we can bend life to our will. This belief gives us a sense of safety and predictability. But life, especially as we grow older, teaches a humbling truth. Control is often fleeting, and the more we cling to it, the more suffering we invite into our lives. By the time you reach 70, you've lived through countless moments that likely didn't go as planned. You may have faced illness, loss, or unexpected change. You may have seen loved ones make decisions you couldn't influence or watch the world shift in ways you couldn't prevent. Each of these moments chips away at the illusion of control. But rather than accept this reality, many people double down, tightening their grip, attempting to force outcomes, and becoming trapped in a cycle of anxiety and frustration. The obsession with control stems from fear of uncertainty, fear of vulnerability, and ultimately fear of loss. We believe that if we can control everything around us, we can shield ourselves from pain and disappointment. But life doesn't work that way. No amount of effort or planning can guarantee a future free from suffering. The more we resist this truth, the more we exhaust ourselves emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Abandon control is not the same as surrendering to chaos. It is not a passive resignation or an abdication of responsibility. Rather, it is a conscious choice to focus on what is within our power while releasing what is not. It is the art of discerning where your influence begins and ends, and having the wisdom to let go beyond that point. Take relationships as an example. Many people try to control the behavior or decisions of those they love, often out of genuine concern. But attempting to control others only breeds resentment and distance. True connection is built on acceptance, seeing others as they are, rather than who we want them to be. By letting go of control in relationships, we create space for trust, respect, and authenticity to flourish. This same principle applies to our circumstances. We may not be able to control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. This is where true freedom lies, not in controlling life's twists and turns, but in mastering our reactions. Every challenge presents a choice. Will we resist and cling, or will we adapt and grow? By embracing adaptability, we become more resilient in the face of life's uncertainties. Abandoning control also invites us to live more fully in the present. The obsession with control keeps us fixated on the future, planning, worrying, and preparing for scenarios that may never come to pass. But life is happening now. When we release control, we open ourselves to the beauty and possibility of the present moment. We become more attuned to the simple joys, a conversation with a loved one, the sound of the wind in the trees, the warmth of the sun on our skin. These moments of presence are where peace is found. Letting go of control is not easy. It requires humility, the humility to acknowledge that we are not all powerful and that uncertainty is a natural part of life. It also requires trust in ourselves, trust in the people around us, and trust in the unfolding of life itself. Trust doesn't mean blind faith. It means choosing to believe that even in the face of uncertainty, we have the inner strength to navigate whatever comes our way. At its core, abandoning the obsession with control is an act of liberation. It frees us from the exhausting pursuit of perfection and the constant battle against life's unpredictability. It allows us to move through the world with greater ease, compassion, and openness. One of the most insidious fears we face as we age is the fear of becoming irrelevant. It creeps in quietly, fueled by cultural narratives that glorify youth and productivity. Society often measures value in terms of what you can produce, how visible you are, and how much influence you wield. By the time you reach 70, these external measures may begin to shift. You may retire from work, watch younger generations take center stage, or find that your social circles have changed. And with these changes, the fear of no longer mattering can take root. This fear is deeply tied to our need for purpose and connection. Throughout life, many of us derive meaning from our roles, whether as workers, parents, mentors, or community leaders. We become accustomed to being needed and sought after. When those roles change or diminish, it can feel as if our identity is slipping away. The fear whispers, "You've outlived your usefulness. You're no longer important." But this fear is based on a false and limiting belief that our worth is tied solely to external achievements or the approval of others. The first step to throwing away the fear of irrelevance is to challenge this belief. Your value does not diminish with age. It shifts, deepens, and takes on new forms. Just as a tree in autumn may shed its leaves but stand strong with deep roots, so too do we possess an inner strength and wisdom that only grows with time. Irrelevance is a myth created by a culture that fails to see the richness of lived experience. Consider the gift of perspective. By the time you've reached 70, you've witnessed the full spectrum of life's joys and sorrows. You've navigated challenges, celebrated triumphs, and learned lessons that can only come with time. This wisdom is irreplaceable. It cannot be measured by accolades or productivity. Yet many people undervalue it, either because they have internalized society's emphasis on youth, or because they haven't fully embraced the depth of their own experience. To combat the fear of irrelevance, it's crucial to shift your focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. Instead of asking, "How am I being seen?" ask, "How am I showing up for myself and others?" Relevance is not about being at the center of attention. It's about being fully present in your life and the lives of those you care about. It's about continuing to seek meaning no matter your age or circumstances. Relationships also play a vital role in overcoming this fear. Connection is a universal human need, and as we age, those connections may evolve, some friendships may fade, and new ones may emerge. The key is to remain open to these changes and to actively seek out meaningful relationships. Whether it's through family, friends, community groups, or mentorship, your presence can have a profound impact. Even a single conversation, a shared story, or a kind word can leave a lasting imprint. Never underestimate the power of showing up for others with authenticity and care. Another way to throw away the fear of irrelevance is to embrace the idea of lifelong learning. Curiosity doesn't age. There is always something new to discover, whether it's a hobby, a skill, or a perspective. Engaging with new ideas keeps the mind sharp and the spirit vibrant. It also reinforces the truth that growth doesn't stop at a certain age. It continues for as long as we allow it to. By staying curious and open to new experiences, you affirm your relevance to yourself, which is far more powerful than any external affirmation. Lastly, it's important to recognize that relevance is not about doing, it's about being. In a culture that prioritizes action and achievement, we often forget the value of simply existing. Your presence, your unique energy, history, and essence matters. Even if you do nothing more than share a meal with loved ones or enjoy a quiet afternoon in nature, your existence is enough. When you stop measuring yourself by what you produce or how others perceive you, you free yourself from the chains of irrelevance. Throwing away the fear of irrelevance is not about denying the realities of aging, it's about embracing them. Aging is not a process of fading away, it's a journey of becoming more fully yourself. And when you let go of the fear, you make room for the peace, joy, and meaning that are your birthright at any age.